for Wednesday, February 4th, 2026. The time is now 1:22 p.m. I'm your chairperson, Keone Souza. We have Vice Chair John Wahi IV. Can I get a roll call vote, please?
Trustee Ahuna?
Yo.
Trustee Akaka?
Ew.
Trustee Akina's excused. Trustee Alapa? Trustee Galuteria?
Yo.
Chair Kahele?
Present.
Trustee Lindsay? Trustee Waihe'e?
Present.
Chair Souza?
All right, members, we have quorum. Now, joining the trustees here today is Kapo Nui Keishon Kikina, along with numerous support staff. I'm going to call on Keishon to announce the administrative staff joining us here today. Hello, Keishon.
Hello, my kako, mahalo nui, Chair, Vice Chair, and trustees. This morning, our administration staff consists of our investment director and interim CFO, Ryan Lee, our general counsel, Everett Ota, our legacy land manager, Lori Walker, our senior IT systems engineer and administrator, Kevin Chalk, and also we have our new employee, Daniel Sandemeyer, who serves as our managing director of land.
Awesome. I want to give an opportunity for Daniel to come to the table, say aloha to everyone, put a face to the name. Aloha, Daniel. Welcome to OHA.
Aloha, I'm Daniel Sandemeyer. I'm really happy to be here. Very excited to be working with OHA and all of you. It's the third day on the job now, so meeting the team, meeting you all has been exciting and I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping you're joking about speech, but good. I look forward to working with all of you. I'm pleased to be here.
Mahalo, Daniel. Thank you so much. All right, now this meeting can be viewed via live stream on OHA's website at www.oha.org/livestream and on Olelo TV. If you'd like to testify on any agenda item during the Zoom meeting, please raise your hand when the item is announced. When called upon, you will be moved from attendee to panelist and given the ability to turn on your camera. Unmute yourself during your testimony. Once you're finished, we ask that you mute your microphone and you return to attendee. Public testimony should be limited to matters listed on the meeting agenda and will occur prior to any listed item's conclusion or vote. If you begin to address other issues not on today's meeting agenda, the item chair will call you out of order and direct you to limit your testimony to items listed on the agenda. Testifiers' mics will be unmuted when it is your turn to testify. If you're not audible, you will be muted and the next testifier will be called. Oral testimony online will be limited to 5 minutes. Your microphone will be automatically muted once you have completed your oral testimony, or if your allotted time for testimony expires. Please log off after testifying, otherwise staff may be forced to remove you. All right, members, moving on to our first item of business, and this will be approval of minutes from the Committee on Investment and Land Management dated December 17, 2025.
So moved.
Anyone signed up to testify? All right, motion moved by Trustee Ahuna. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Ahuna?
Aye.
Trustee Akaka? For the minutes.
Aye.
Trustee Akina's excused. Trustee Alapa? Yes. Trustee Galuteria?
Aye.
Chair Kahele?
Aye.
Trustee Lindsay?
What are we approving?
Sorry, this is the minutes, Chair Merida.
December
Aye.
17th minutes. Mahalo. Trustee Waihe'e?
Yes.
Chair Souza?
Yes, aye. All right, motion passes, members. Thank you. Moving on to new business. Action item ILM number 26-01. Approval for OHA Administration to pursue a joint venture partner for development of lots A, B, C, D1, D2, E, F, G, and K within Kaka'akoMakai, Oahu. TMK number 121058, 129. 121058130, 121058048, 121060027, 121058006, 121060026, and 121060028. Anyone signed up to testify on this item?
No one signed up.
Mahalo. All right. At this time, Chair recognizes Lori Walker and Paul Quintiliani. Aloha, Paul. Aloha, Lori.
Aloha kako. Okay, thank you for
the opportunity today to present to you our 2 action items. This agenda item is the first of the action items. Over the last 14 years, OHA has invested significant resources and sustained effort toward the redevelopment of our Kaka'akoMakai properties. Through each initiative and each challenge encountered, we have grown substantially in our sophistication as a landowner. Deepening our understanding of the real estate development and business landscape, as well as the diverse stakeholder interests that shape successful outcomes. These experiences have sharpened our strategies, clarified our priorities, and informed our decision to intentionally invest in building a high-performing real estate division, while also honestly identifying areas where continued maturation is both necessary and prudent. Today, staff is seeking the board's approval to take a critical next step in OHA's evolution as a landowner, to pursue a joint venture structure for the redevelopment of Kaka'akoMakai. This approach reflects what we have learned, aligns with our fiduciary responsibilities, and positions OHA to advance redevelopment in a way that is both strategic and sustainable for our beneficiaries. And here to present the proposed action is Paul Quintiliani, who is our real estate consultant. Paul?
Mahalo and aloha board members. Lori, thank you for that overview. I think that was a great context for this. As outlined in the action items submitted, OHA has been hindered in its efforts over the years to advance development activities in Makai, Kaka'ako since the transfer in 2012. There are 3 principal reasons that OHA has been delayed to date, including the highly restrictive uses that are allowed under current zoning, the need for a dedicated development team with expertise in large-scale urban redevelopment, as well as the need for significant capital to invest in these activities. This action item is intended to take the next critical step in OHA's evolution towards advancing development in Kaka'ako. Specifically, the action item will direct the administration to initiate a solicitation process for a joint venture partner who will bring both capital and expertise to support OHA's planning and development needs in Kaka'ako going forward. I'd like to point out that this action item only authorizes the issuance of a request for proposal or request for qualifications to the development of the community and the negotiation of business terms. The authority to enter the joint venture on terms negotiated will be reserved for the BOE and will be the subject of a future action item. And with that, we appreciate your consideration, and I am available, and Lori, to respond to any questions.
Members, any questions? All right, seeing none. Mahalo, Paul. Mahalo, Lori. All right. Can I call for the vote? Roll call, please.
Chair, just one question.
Oh, sorry, Chair Emerita Lindsay.
I just wanted to know that Paul will oversee the RFP to give it to,
Administration.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Because, he and Linda were very effective on the AEA selection when you and I served on that selection committee.
They're very good, very thorough.
Yeah.
For
so
sure.
It's good to have that kind of expertise guiding us.
Great question, Chair. Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Ahuna? Yes. Trustee Akaka? Trustee Akinan's excused. Trustee Alapa? Trustee Galuteria?
Aye.
Chair Kahele?
Aye.
Trustee Lindsay?
Aye.
Trustee Waihe'e?
Yes.
Chair Souza?
Aye. All right, members, motion passes. Mahalo. All right, new business, item 3B, action item ILM 26-02, approval of the use of limited liability companies, LLCs, for lands owned in fee by the Office of Hawaiian Affairs. Anyone signed up to testify?
Yes, we have one person signed up, Jermaine Myers.
Aloha, Jermaine. Got it.
Aloha, Chair.
Aloha.
Aloha, Chair Souza, Vice Chair Waihe'e, and Honorable Trustees. My name is Jermaine Myers, and I'm an OHA beneficiary and Dijichao Native Hawaiian lessee. I rise in strong opposition to ILM 2602, which proposes approval of the use of limited liability companies for lands owned in fee by the Office of Hawaiian Affairs. OHA is not a private corporation. It is not a speculative developer. It is a public trust established to steward lands and resources for the benefit of Native Hawaiians under a fiduciary standard higher than that of ordinary landowners. LLCs exist for a reason, but that reason is not public transparency. They are designed to limit liability, compartmentalize risk, and separate ownership from accountability. Those features may make sense in private commerce. They are deeply problematic when applied to public trust lands. Even when wholly owned by OHA, LLCs introduce structural opacity. Financial records become harder to access. Decision-making becomes layered and indirect. Accountability becomes diluted across entities. This creates real risk, not just legal risk, but trust risk, including increased vulnerability to financial mismanagement, misuse of funds, or even embezzlement when assets and decision-making are placed behind layered corporate structures, such as with the Bishop Estate LLCs. As fiduciaries, trustees are legally obligated to act solely in the best interest of beneficiaries, with undivided loyalty, prudence, and full accountability for trust assets. Beneficiaries already struggle to obtain timely, clear, and complete information about OHA land use, revenues, and decision-making. Approving LLC structures moves OHA further away from the Sunshine Law spirit, even if technical compliance is claimed. I ask the board to pause and reflect on this question. If these lands belong to the Lahui, why would we place them inside entities historically used to shield owners from scrutiny? This proposal shifts OHA's posture from a public trust asset manager accountable directly to beneficiaries to a corporate-style asset manager operating through layered entities. That is a philosophical shift, not a minor administrative one. And while I understand arguments about efficiency, financing, or risk management, those concerns do not outweigh the foundational obligation of transparency. Efficiency without trust is not progress. Risk mitigation that erodes accountability is not stewardship. At minimum, approving this action today without robust beneficiary consultation, enforceable transparency guarantees, and clear limits would be premature. But I respectfully submit that the better course is to reject ILM 2602 entirely and instead direct staff to strengthen internal management tools within OHA itself, where public accountability remains intact. OHA's legitimacy flows from the confidence of its beneficiaries. Please do not place a corporate veil between the Lahui and their lands. Mahalo for the opportunity to testify. Keakuapu. God bless all of you.
Mahalo, Jermaine. Any other testifiers? Anyone online? All right, no one's raising their hand. Seeing no testifiers at this time, the chair motions to authorize OHA to create individual limited liability companies, LLCs, for lands it owns in fee, except for the parcels within Kaka'ako, for which an ownership vesting decision will be determined in the future, and for OHA Administration to pursue the formation of said LLCs, subject to final governing document approval by the BOT and lender approval as to Lama Kukui, Honolulu Harbor Shops, Iwilei Business Center Apartments 1, 2, and 3A. Any discussion, members? All right, seeing none? Yeah? Sorry?
Chair, I have a question.
I'm sorry. Chair Kahele.
And thanks, Chair. Do we have, is Paul still with us?
Yes, Kalamai.
Okay.
Yeah, well,
I guess my question would be for Paul.
Okay.
I'm sorry. What? I'm sorry, Chair. Go ahead.
Actually, short. Paul actually has a short presentation, Chair.
Okay. I'll hold my questions until then. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
All right, very good. So the purpose of this action item is to authorize the formation of special purpose entities for holding OHA's real estate assets. The primary driver is to align OHA's management with best practices, with one of the goals being liability protection from legal claims that might arise from activities on OHA's lands. LLCs have historically been used by OHA, and there are 2 remaining LLCs that are currently operated by OHA, including Hi'ile Aloha and Hi'ipaka, both of which are related to Waimea Valley. Historically, there were other LLCs, but they were dissolved due in part to concerns with inefficiency and the lack of transparency. Understanding these historic concerns, the proposed LLC structure set forth in this action item will depart from past operations. The key differences are that the Board of Trustees through policy will be designated to carry out LLC decision-making. Day-to-day operations, i.e. management, will be delegated to OHA staff. Major decisions will be reserved for the member, which in this case will be the Board of Trustees. Reporting will be conducted quarterly, and decision-making will be in a public forum in which public testimony will be received and all actions will comply with sunshine laws set forth by the state. In effect, the operations will mirror OHA's current operations, with the exception that when LLC matters are brought forward, the members will meet as an LLC rather than a Board of Trustees. But all meetings, unless there's an executive session, will be conducted under sunshine rules and in front of a public forum. There will also be a need to maintain separate books and records because each LLC requires separate books and records. And there will be a need to maintain separate bank accounts, but all of those items will be reported upon quarterly so that there's clear transparency. Should also be noted that this action item, if approved by the BOT, will need lender approval from for the loans that are held on Lama, Kukui, Honolulu Harbor Shops, and the Iwilei Business Center. The administration recommends the adoption of this structure as we believe it is a well-balanced approach to achieving efficient management, transparency, and getting the liability protections that are afforded under a limited liability company.
Mahalo, Paul. Now, members, any questions? Chair Kahele.
Hey, thanks, Chair. And I think Paul kind of summarized like why this is important for us. You know, because I don't want the previous testimony to color like what we are trying to do in actually protecting the assets of OHA and ultimately the beneficiaries' assets. And obviously we have land stewardship resources in LLCs, and it's very, very successful, and it's somewhat of a model to follow. Paul, would there be any comparison between what we're doing or what this board has done in the past with Hi'ipaka and Waimea Valley versus what we're proposing to do now in terms of liability and asset protection?
So from a structural standpoint, you know, the ownership would be similar, that it's held in an individual limited liability company. But the structure of the LLC that's being proposed in this action item is different than Waimea. In Waimea, you have a separate board with separate management, and OHA is the member of the LLC, but they're really not involved in the day-to-day decision-making. And the only time that the general public understands what's going on is when you get periodically briefed by the Waimea Valley operating team. in this structure that we're proposing here, the Board of Trustees will act as the member. OHA staff will act as the manager. And so it really mirrors your current operations to date. The only real difference is that there's just a separate legal structure, but most of the operations will be seamless for the general public.
Got it. And do you envision what follow-up question, Chair? So let's take Kaka'akoMakai, for example. We know we have 9 parcels there. Would we be looking at putting an individual parcel into an individual LLC, or would we look at bunching them together?
So, great question. And I want to make sure that it's clear that this action item does not affect or create LLCs for any of the Kaka'ako parcels. And the reason being that the previous action item that you just approved, the formation of the joint venture.
Yep.
Once that joint venture is formed, there's going to need to be some new structure that is created around that. So it felt like it was premature to create an LLC for Kaka'ako until we understand how the joint venture is going to be formed. So this structure would be only for the fee-owned parcels other than Kaka'ako. And the expectation or the recommendation is that each property is a single LLC.
Okay, that makes total sense. And then finally, how would OHA balance its oversight, its fiduciary oversight, without risking piercing that corporate veil that we often talk about? Will our trustees be getting training so that their oversight doesn't risk losing any liability protections?
Yeah, that would be a strong recommendation coming out of this. And making sure that when meetings are held, that they're held as the LLC entity rather than as the OHA board. So if you can envision, you're holding this board meeting today, correct? And if something came up that was LLC related, you would suspend the regular ILM meeting, you would enter into an LLC meeting, and you would be acting as members of the LLC rather than as trustees or members of the ILM committee.
Is that workout part of the due diligence? Is that ongoing?
We've reviewed this already with outside counsel, so very comfortable with the structure and the liability protections. But we do need to make sure that we put in place a process that honors the requirements of owning these under limited liability companies while still achieving the goals that we're setting forth, which is transparency to the public and efficient management.
Okay. Thank you, Chair.
Mahalo, Chair Kahele. Chair Galatario.
Thank you, Chair. Laurie, will this shift require more bandwidth internally, or can we do it with the current staff that we have?
I think initially we're going to have to be trained on the new structure, but like Paul is saying, we can anticipate a very our day-to-day operations will be very similar. I think maybe the most visible shift will be when we pause the ILM meeting and enter into LLC convening. So besides initial training, I think that's.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty much. We got enough to cover.
We'll do some learning in the beginning, and then, but the same amount of staff and the same staff that we have. And we have Daniel.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, Mahalo, Chair, for your question. And in the future, we will also discuss the legalities of moving from one meeting to another meeting and make sure we're in full compliance as well. Any other discussion, members? All right, seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Ahuna?
Aye.
Trustee Akaka?
Aye.
Trustee Akina's excused. Trustee Alapa? Trustee Galutaria?
Aye.
Chair Kahele?
Aye.
Trustee Lindsay? Trustee Waihe'e?
Yes.
Chair Souza?
Aye. All right, members, motion passes. Thank you very much. We will now move on to our final item on the agenda. Trustee Ahuna?
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Motion made by trustee Huna. Can I get a
Sorry.
roll call vote, please? Any testifiers, first of all, on this? All right. Roll call, please.
Trustee Ahuna.
Aye.
Trustee Akaka.
Aye.
Trustee Akina's excused. Trustee Alapa. Trustee Galuteria.
Aye.
Chair Kahele.
Aye.
Trustee Lindsay. Trustee Waihe'e.
Yes.
Chair Souza.
Aye. Motion passes. Meeting is now adjourned.